So it's about 1 a.m. on a Thursday night. It is the 19th. No, it's the 19th. It's a Friday, early in the morning, because it's almost 1 a.m. And before I start this, I guess one thing to note, might not apply to any of you, but The Last of Us 2 comes out. Well, it's out today. It would have been out at 12 a.m. If you're downloading it from the PlayStation Store. But if you're into PlayStation 4 games, The Last of Us is out today, and I'll probably grab a copy when I wake up after I sleep after this video. So that's besides the point. I'm just talking about that because it's like a little timestamp for me as well. And you can probably see by the title of this video what I'm going to be talking about today. It might be a bit of a lengthier video. We'll see how long the battery lasts on this. I've got about 40% on there, and I'm just going to let it go until the battery dies or until I finish, either one. So I think the reason I'm doing this video is, because I'm extremely tired, but I want to make this video when all these thoughts and emotions and everything that I'm going through are still like raw, and they're still sort of coursing through my mind and whatnot, because it's something that affects everyone. It's, there's some times in life where there's things that happen where you don't expect them to happen, or there's things that happen where even if you knew they were going to happen, it still affects you to some point. This could be a number of things, but things that just, play around with your emotions, relationships, things like that, just getting to know people, all that kind of gist of it. And this goes with any other parts of your life in terms of your emotion as well. So I want to make this video not just for you guys, but more so for myself as well, because it's kind of going to be like a bookmark for me. It's kind of going to be like something I can look back to in 6 months or look back to in a year, and I can go back and think, this is probably a good idea to film this, to basically see how I'm reacting to all this stuff. And I'm not going to get into any details of what's been going on. It's nothing bad that's been going on with me. It's nothing like detrimental to my life or anything like that. Just the basic emotional stuff that human beings go through, that you go through during life, that you go through during relationship kind of situations. So it really is a video for me to bookmark all of this, and that's why I'm doing it at this point in time, where it's something that's on my mind, something that's raw, it's something that I can basically look back on and not only see how I've reacted to it, but see my progress in this certain situation as well. I'll probably look back at this video and laugh. I'll probably look back at this video and think, what was going on? It's like 1 a.m. Who knows? But I want to talk a little bit about emotion and about how to deal with negative emotion and how to deal with negative thoughts, because a lot of people struggle with it. Now, I for one am quite lucky in the sense that I was brought up pretty well. I was brought up in a nice household. I was brought up with great parents and a great family, and I was basically lucky enough to be around a good situation where a majority of the time when a problem would occur, things would end up getting sorted. Things didn't resort to violence, or things didn't resort to anything bad. And I feel very, very lucky for that. And I always think about that in these situations, and I always think about, okay, you might be going through some stuff, Jack. Like, this is what I think to myself. I think you might be going through some stuff. There might be, situations that you might not be able to control. There might be things that you feel sad about, but you got to remember at the end of the day that it will pass. All of this stuff will pass. You either learn from it, or it's setting you up for something later on in the future. That's what I think about it anyway. And again, I'm making this video because it can be relatable to you guys, and you guys might listen to this and it might help you out. But I'm also doing it for me as a bookmark. And if you guys didn't know, actually, YouTube is a great thing for me as well, because it not only helps me get my business out there and helps me connect with other people, but it's like an outlet for me. It allows me to do these kinds of videos and talk about it. I'm not going to bother doing a second channel just yet where I just talk about thoughts. Maybe that can be something on later down the line if you want to do something like that. If you like the idea of that, let me know. But I like that YouTube is kind of like an outlet for me where I can talk as well, because I know that it resonates with people. I know that I'm just a human like everyone else. I go through this stuff like everyone else. But I like having my input as well, because it can help it can help people. And sorry if I sound a bit stuffy. I've actually been a bit under the weather the last couple of days, but getting over it. It was actually like the quickest kind of cold/flu thing, I guess, that I had. Hoping it's not anything worse, like, you know, the good old COVID stuff, but I don't think it is. I think I would know. But yeah, I want to give my perspective on this and really tell you how I think about it. So just, I guess, times like now, and this is another reason why I want to do this video now, so I can kind of reflect on it myself. Like I said, I'm not going to go into details about what I'm talking about in my life. It's nothing bad, so don't worry about me. It's just general emotional stuff. And like I said, I'm very, very lucky to be brought up in the household that I was, and I'm very, very lucky to have gone through the stuff that I've gone through. Like, if you look at a video from myself, like, it's probably about it's getting close to 2 years now ago, I made a video about what happened with my last breakup, because it's been that long since I've actually been, you know, in any kind of relationship or anything like that. Because I don't really talk about that stuff either, because it's not relevant to, you know, my channel or whatever. But it's been that long since I've been in a relationship, and you can go back and you have a look at that, and you can actually see, you know, the difference in what I've learned, and you can go back and I can learn from that stuff. And I'm glad that I put that kind of stuff, you know, on YouTube, whether, you know, sometimes it's not relevant, but it might actually be a bit more relevant than what you think or what I think. So that's why I do these kinds of videos, and that's why I like speaking my mind about it, because I like to see the progress that I've made. I like to see how it resonates with people, because all of us go through, you know, the same thing. So the way I think about it, getting back to my other point, is I definitely feel very, very lucky to have gone through this stuff that I've gone through, you know, in my life, whether it's, you know, breakups, whether it's other emotional stuff like, you know, deaths in the family and stuff like that, stuff that you don't really like to talk about. I'm very, very lucky to have experienced what I have, but also be able to learn from it. And I've learned that that it's great to actually reflect on what's happened, and it's going to sound really cliche, but to try and actually grow from it. So just like what I did, you know, in my prior videos, where, you know, I'm either struggling with something, or whether I need to get something like this in video form where I just talk about it. It's something that I can come back to later on and reflect on, but it also allows me to reflect on it now, and to sort of, you know, help not only myself, but to you guys deal with these kinds of emotions. So I know I'm kind of tailoring off, you know, and and you know, just dribbling off to the point that I'm talking about. But what I mainly want to talk about with this is how I've really come to learn about myself and how I manage these negative emotions. So, like I was saying, I have had a lot of learning curves. You know, I'm 25 now, and I have been through some experiences. Like I said, breakups, they always suck. Relationship kind of stuff. It's stuff that everyone goes through. And basically, what I learned was there's always going to be stuff that happens. You're never going to learn 100% what to do in life. You're always going to be learning. And the way you got to think about it is that, yeah, it does suck, but, you know, everything's going to be okay. Everything is going to be fine, and you got to learn from it, and you have to take that and move forward. You just got to keep moving forward. That's the main thing. The fact, if you can get anything out of this video, anything out of these ramblings that I'm just talking about, because I'm just doing this off the top of my head, if I was to give you anything out of these, it would be to keep moving forward, whatever it may be. If you have relationship problems, if you have negative thoughts, keep moving forward and give yourself a goal to move towards. If you have a vision of what you're moving towards, it's going to help a lot. And the other thing as well, two main things. First one is keep moving forward. Second one is it will pass. Whatever you're feeling right now, like I said, it's either going to be a lesson or it's going to set you up for something better in the future. So you need to think about that if you are stuck, because I know a lot of people that view this channel, a lot of you are around my age, a lot of you are anywhere from, say, 18, maybe 20, all the way up to 25, 30. So usually what I see, a lot of people around that age bracket. So you might be experiencing similar things, and you might be going through something right now where you might be struggling with it. And, you know, the main thing for me is first of all, if you have someone to talk to about it, go and talk to them. Don't bottle it up. That's the worst thing you can do. So go and talk to them about it, but you have to remember that the feelings will pass and you will actually grow from it. The only way you're not going to grow from it is if you keep pulling yourself back to the past, wishing things were different, wishing that that you could change things. The past is the past. This is going to sound really funny, but I'm actually thinking right now about Kung Fu Panda, and I can't remember. It's the old turtle's name. It's not Shifu. I can't remember. Just leave it in the comments if you know. But it's the old turtle, the old master, and he basically said that that the past is the past, and you can't change what happens in the past. You can't necessarily predict what happens in the future, but you can deal with the present. You can deal with how you're feeling right now. You can deal with changing it, and he basically says that's why the present is basically a gift. That's why it's called the present. So it's really might be a bit of a cliche and a bit of a weird way to look at it, but I think it's so true. I think it's true, and you have to take in, if you're feeling these bad emotions, if you're feeling like you're not sure which way to go, just take that into account, but don't let your present feelings be distracted by what happened in the past or what might happen in the future. You need to focus on now, what you can control, your actions right now, today, very second. You can basically change your whole perspective on your life in 1 second. It's like literally like that. You can literally just change it in an instant if you want, and from that point in change is when you're actually going to make the big difference later on. So do what you can, and again, like I said, don't dabble with the past, and don't try and worry about what's going to happen in the future. Don't try and change anything that you can't change. Just focus on the present, and that's going to be the way that you start to deal with all of these emotions that you're feeling as well. So really, I guess when it comes down to all this stuff, that's my main outlook on it. Is it will pass, and we're pretty lucky. Majority of us here, especially if you're a lot of Aussies watching, we're very, very lucky in the place that we are. And I know that I have it quite well. I was brought up in a really really nice, loving household. I'm very lucky compared to a lot of other people, and I always take that into consideration as well. And also think about the feelings that are involved. I'm very, very empathetic to the feelings of the people that have been involved with how I'm feeling at the moment. You have to think about that as well. So I'm always in the sense, in this mindset that, okay, if something bad happens, of course I'm going to be down for some time. It's not like I'm just some bulletproof person and I don't feel emotion. That's not it at all. I'm still human, but I tend to get over it. Not so much get over it, but to deal with it a lot quicker than what I used to, because I justify things, and I am empathetic to the way other people feel, and I'm empathetic about how what's happening to other people, and I am very conscious about my position in life. So I think, okay, I might be feeling down right now. I might have muddled thoughts, or I might be stuck in some way mentally, but you need to think I'm still quite lucky. Things could be a lot worse, and you got to go back to the same thing of you can't change the past, and you have to focus on the present. Don't worry about what's going to happen in the future. Fix yourself now, and start dealing with all this stuff now. The quicker you do that, the quicker that your future is going to become a lot better. So that's how I think of it as well. Like I said, I know I'm rambling on, but I think that's about all I've had. That's about all I'm thinking about for this topic so far. And look, guys, it's going to be okay. And like I said, I'm not only making this video to help you guys to be relatable, I'm also making it about myself, because I know that I'm going to come back to this video, and if I follow these principles that I'm talking about, I'm going to look back at it, and I know that I'm going to be in a better place than what I was, let's just say 3 months, 6 months, 12 months down the line. I'm going to come back to this video and go, that Jack guy, he was right. You just got to listen to yourself. It's hard to listen to yourself when you are feeling this way, because you it's really easy to doubt yourself when you're thinking this way, because you're thinking like, you know, everything's shit, or you know, I just don't know if it's going to work. It hasn't worked for me this far, and blah, blah, blah. That's you worrying about the past and the future. Stick to what I've talked about, these principles. Stick to being empathetic to others. Stick to being kind to yourself as well. Stick to fixing yourself in the present, appreciating the present, and just realize that these feelings will pass, these emotions will pass, things will get better if you want to make them better. So I hope that helped you guys anyway, and like I said, it's going to be a great thing for me to come back to. These videos that I do, they're like the ones that get the least amount of views, but I always feel like they're the most important, and hopefully someday more and more people will see videos like this that I make, because I think they really, really help, and they help me as well. They're like a bit of therapy for me as well. So yeah, well, first of all, don't worry about me. I'll be okay. If you're worried about me going on some downhill sort of track, don't worry about that at all. I am a super positive and happy person, and this is one of those videos to show that everyone has emotions. You can't always be some tip-top 100%. You know, you look at someone like Gary Vee. He's like one of the most positive, you know, sort of outlook kind of guys out there. He's gonna have his down days too. There's gonna be no one is 100% bulletproof to emotion. It just doesn't happen. So really, don't worry about me in that sense. It's like I said, it's just a video that I wanted to do. Hopefully it helped, you know, you guys as well. And if you're going through a similar thing, if you are at a kind of down point in your life, or if you just had a down few days or a few weeks or even a few months, maybe a few years, who knows, maybe this video might be the kind of turning point as well. So just know that there are other people going through stuff, and there are ways out of it. You just got to change, just switch your perspective a little bit, and really follow those things that I've been talking about, and be appreciative of what's happening in the future. You're alive. You get to talk to the people around you. There's so many things that are in your control that you can fix. And I'm glad, you know, it's like, what is it now? It's 1 a.m. And, you know, shift your focus on a goal. And, you know, like what I'm doing now, I'm always thinking about work. Right now I'm thinking about, I'm going to go pick up a copy of The Last of Us 2 on PlayStation. And I'm going to play the shit out of it tomorrow. It's going to be so much fun. And I'm just excited. I'm excited for what's happening right now at this present time, you know, me filming this video. And you got to be excited for your future as well. And you can't necessarily control what happens in the future, but you can set yourself up for a better one. So I'm going to leave that video there. It's been a huge ramble. I was meant to have my microphone connected here, but it won't connect to my MacBook, so you're going to have to deal with the camera mic. I might end up getting an actual lav mic where I can, you know, put it up here. But yeah, guys, that's all I have for you today. There's nothing else I want to talk about in this video. Just want it to be purely about my thoughts, my emotions, and helping you guys. And like I said, we'll come back to this. Maybe you can come back to it as well, and we'll be better. We'll all have improved, and I'm excited. I'm glad that I made this video. I hope that it helps you guys anyway. I hope that it at least helps one of you sort of steer you in the right direction. So I'm gonna leave it there, guys. Hope you are doing well. Stay safe. See you guys in the next video.